Have you ever been completely and totally absorbed in a task? Maybe you were writing, or coding, or painting, or fixing something in your garage. For a few moments the world disappears, time melts away, your sense of self dissolves. There is only you and the work in a perfect harmonious state of flow. What is that feeling of pure unadulterated excellence? Is there a name for it? The search for an answer to that one question is the powerful engine that drives one of the most legendary and challenging philosophical journeys in modern literature. Robert M. Pirsig's Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. Now, this is not a book about Zen Buddhism, and it is not a manual for how to fix a motorcycle. This book uses a cross-country motorcycle trip as the backdrop for a deep, obsessive, and brilliant philosophical investigation into the nature of quality itself. Today on Geeky Philosopher, we are going on that road trip, a journey into the soul of a machine, and a search for a more unified and meaningful way to live. So, the story begins with a physical journey. The narrator and his young son Chris are on a motorcycle trip across America with two friends, John and Sylvia. Right away, Pirsig sets up the book's central conflict by showing us two completely different ways of seeing the world. John and Sylvia are what Pirsig calls romantic. They love the motorcycle for the feeling it gives them, the wind, the scenery, the sense of freedom. They see the machine as a whole beautiful object. But, when the motorcycle breaks down, they are helpless and frustrated. They hate the mechanics of it. The underlying reality of the machine is ugly and confusing to them. Now, the narrator, on the other hand, is really classical in his outlook. He understands the machine, He sees it as this beautiful system of interconnected parts, almost like a symphony of logic. There's a certain peace and satisfaction he gets from maintaining his own bike. And well, he understands the why behind the what. This split between the romantic and the classical, the artistic and the rational, the emotional and the technical, it's a divide that honestly runs through our whole society, and even through our own minds. And Pirsig's entire journey is really a quest to heal this divide, to find a third way of seeing that brings them together. Segment 2, the Chautauqua, an inquiry into quality. So as they ride across the country, the narrator delivers a series of philosophical talks to himself, and to us, the reader. He actually calls these Chautauquas. And these Chautauquas are all focused on one, all-consuming question. What is quality? What do we mean when we say something is good or has quality? Is it just a subjective opinion, a matter of what we like, or is it an objective property of the thing itself? This question seems academic, but Pirsig believes it's the most important question we can ask. He argues that our entire modern world, with its separation of art from science and feeling from reason, is suffering because we have lost our understanding of quality. To find it again, we have to go on a hunt. As the journey continues, a second, darker narrative emerges. The narrator is haunted by the ghost of his former self, a man he calls Phaedrus. Phaedrus was a brilliant, obsessive professor of rhetoric who, years ago, embarked on this same philosophical hunt for the definition of quality. His quest became so intense, so radical, that it drove him to a complete mental breakdown. He was subjected to electroshock therapy, which erased the personality of Phaedrus, leaving the narrator we are riding with today. The motorcycle trip is not just a physical journey across America, it is, honestly, a psychological journey into the narrator's own past. He is slowly, and kind of painfully, trying to reconcile with the brilliant and dangerous ghost of the man he used to be. Phaedrus's story is, the cautionary tale of a mind that flew just a bit too close to the sun. Segment 4. At the top of the mountain, the definition of quality. So what was the explosive discovery that, broke Phaedrus's mind? After years of relentless thought, he came to a breakthrough. Quality is not a property of the object, nor is it a subjective feeling in the mind. Quality, he realized, is a separate third thing. It is the event of the meeting between the subject and the object. It is the moment of pure pre-intellectual perception that happens before you separate the world into you and it. It is the knife edge of the present moment where awareness and the world meet. It is the parent of both subject and object. When a master mechanic is working on an engine and they are in the zone, they are not thinking, I, the mechanic, am fixing this object, the engine. The separation disappears. There is only the work, the perfect dance of hand, tool, and metal. That is quality. This discovery was so radical because it completely destroyed the classical separation between the subjective and objective worlds. It put this mysterious, undefinable quality at the very center of reality. And for the rigid academic world that Phaedrus was fighting against, this was heresy. Segment 5: Zen and the Art of Living. So what does all this abstract philosophy have to do with us? How do we live a life of quality? Pirsig brings it all back down to the motorcycle. The Zen in the title is not about sitting in a monastery. It's really about finding a state of peace, presence, and excellence in the middle of your everyday life. The real art of motorcycle maintenance is honestly the art of caring. When you approach a task with a sense of care, and when you're truly present with it, you are practicing quality. The mechanic who is not just trying to finish the job, but is genuinely trying to do the best possible job, to be in harmony with the machine, that mechanic is practicing a form of Zen. They have healed the split. They see both the romantic beauty of the whole and the classical logic of the parts, and they unite them through their own focused, caring attention. This is the solution to the Great Divide. We can unite the romantic and classical worlds within ourselves by bringing a sense of mindfulness, of sacredness, to the mundane, technical tasks of our lives. Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance is not an easy book. It is a dense, winding journey with many detours, but its final destination is a profound and simple truth. The book is, a powerful call to heal the splits in our own minds and in our culture. It's really a call to reject the false choice between the emotional and the rational, and between the artistic and the technical. It teaches us that the path to a meaningful life, a life of quality, is found in the dedicated, mindful and caring attention we bring to our work, our relationships and our own thoughts. It's about understanding that the motorcycle you are working on is a system of components, but it is also a reflection of yourself. The real motorcycle you are maintaining is your own soul. This book is a reminder that the most important journeys are not the ones we take across a map, but the ones we take through our own inner landscape. They are often long, challenging, and filled with difficult questions. If you are a fellow traveler, someone who is not afraid of a long road and a challenging intellectual quest, then you are on this journey with us. Consider subscribing to Geeky Philosopher, where we believe that the most rewarding journeys are the ones that lead to a deeper understanding of ourselves and our world. Thank you for riding along today.